loyal to you. Now, I think that he is well intentioned. At the same time, I also think that he's very misguided. And you have to understand the difference between those two. Number one, he's misguided. What do I mean by that? He was given the wrong information. I'll tell you off the bat, I had a Vietnamese homie whose grandfather, or at least I think one of his uncles, by the very least, had these extremely anti-communist sentiments. Because if you remember, the Vietnam War was predicated on free market versus capitalism, free market versus communism. So how does this relate to Money Moicano? Well, take a look at his nickname, Money Moicano. He came a long way. Remember the time when he had that situation with MMA Guru.
It's gonna be a third world country, and I don't want that say I would get slapped by the drill double almost 1 year without fighting, and I schooled this.
So a couple of things to take from that post-fight interview where Moicano had beaten Drew Dober. He calls out MMA Guru. He says, hey, you're an effing pig, yada, yada. You didn't believe in me. And then next thing you know, MMA Guru's channel blows up even more than it already is blowing up at that current moment of time, right? So as a result of that, Money Moicano started seeing, you know what, there is an opportunity of business partnership, collaborating with this guy. And as a result of that collaboration, this is where Money Moicano started picking up a lot of MMA Guru's, how do I say this, ideological understandings of the world. Let me show you what I mean.
Like, first fight was 2K and 2K, and everyone's talking about fighter pay. Dude, people are going to do shit for money. Like, that's just how it works. You know what I mean? Like, why are people complaining about that? Like, there's no obligation to pay them a lot of money. If they're dumb enough to do it for that much, then that's what they're going to do for that much. People need to keep the same energy with minimum wage for the entire fucking world.
Well, there you have it. Among other things, I've also heard MMA gurus say that it's better to keep the fighters at a low pay, because if you do, then you're going to keep them hungry. And as such, you constantly build up all these compelling matchups that you are getting with the leverage of the owners and the UFC.
Beat Jose Aldo.
Did he? Did he beat him?
Okay,
yeah, he did. He got a win. But let me say this though about the lower level fighters. No one fucking knows you.
Yeah.
The UFC don't owe you shit. You should be lucky you're getting 12 for 12. Because if you're making more money on the regional scene, feel fucking free to stay if you're selling tickets enough. Paddy Pimblett was on the regional scene and he stayed there instead of signing to the UFC because he was getting more money on the regional scene.
Yeah.
Because he was a name that people cared about. In Liverpool, he could sell out a show.
Yeah.
He could sell out the Echo Arena in Liverpool on Cage Warriors, which is why he didn't go to the UFC straight away.
So I got to tell you what I agree with there, right? If you are a lower level fighter, I suppose you're not really going to get a lot of that money, which kind of brings me to the next question is, was Money Moicano really a well-known fighter before all of that? And if you take a look at his background, I don't think. Now, as we explore the career of Money Moicano, obviously from his latest fight in UFC 317, you take a look at, all right, during the Benoit Saint-Denis fight, he was a big name. During the Jalen Turner fight, he was a big name. That is how he got to UFC 300. Okay. Now, the Drew Dober fight was the post-fight interview that I just showed you right now, right? He called out MMA Guru, and as such, MMA Guru made him a bigger star. In fact, it is MMA Guru that got Money Moicano the Islam Makhachev fight. And I know that is insane for a lot of people to say or a lot of people to understand, but it is that guy who does podcasts in what people claim is his mom's basement as some sort of possibility of getting him a title shot. He did. Maybe he didn't, but You know what? He did. Because if you look at MMA Guru's numbers, they don't lie. He's bigger than most fighters, and his influence definitely reigns value. It does. And this is what we're seeing right now. Thing you know, MMA Guru and Money Moicano meet with each other live and in person and hash it out.
Very good to see you,
It's
dude.
you, the fat pig. But
Yes.
Hey,
Did you say fat pig or pig? Which one was?
pig. I did
Okay,
say
cool.
fat pig.
Okay,
I
cool.
should, but I didn't.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
No,
Thank
I'm kidding, my brother. But let me
Mhm.
tell you something. I'm going to tell you why I was mad at you. A lot of people don't know, or maybe they don't. Maybe they know because you tell them. But you messaged me saying I would lose to Dubber, and I think that was on Tuesday, right? Or Monday?
Yeah, on fight week.
On fight week, and I was, man, I don't believe. And I even talked to when I was warming up, I was thinking about, man, MMA Guru think I'm going to lose. Do you believe that? I was thinking about that, brother.
I'm rent free.
So let me get this straight. He lives rent free in his head. And on top of that, I think it's fair to say that MMA Guru influences his train of thought. All of a sudden, he became a well-known figure in the world of MMA internet. And at that particular time, I also remember Money Moicano started gaining right-wing MAGA fans. He started embracing this idea of, I love the United States, I love the free market, but he also has an extremely loyal personality in which he believes that when he stepped in there against Islam Makhachev, do you guys remember that fight? He came in at a short notice. Armin Sarukian had an injury. God knows what that injury was, what could have possibly stopped him from going in there to fight Islam Makhachev for the second time around, and this time for the world title. Well, Money Moicano took that opportunity because for the rest of his life, he will forever be known as a title challenger. You want to know who else is a title challenger or was a title challenger? Well, number one, let's look at the George St. Pierre era. Of course, there was Jake Shields. How's he doing right now? He's got a lot of great schools going on. He's got a lot of high profile clients as his trainees. And then you got John Fitch. I'm not even going to mention the Twitter spot about Jake Shields, right? That's for you to do your own research and conclusion to that. But shout outs to Jake Shields nonetheless, right? John Fitch is the other title challenger. What do you got to say about John Fitch as a former title challenger? Do you think that he's currently living good right now? Maybe a little bit better because he was part of the settlement with Money Moicano. Do you remember? He was part of that settlement, and rest assured, John Fitch got his share of that pay. And then here comes Money Moicano refusing this particular payment. And we're going to talk about exactly why that is. I'm going to give you reasons why right now. Absolutely outrageous to everyone's expectations. But I'm going to go into it, the mentality and the aspect of political identity, because that's important to understand with this too. Stay tuned. You guys ever heard the term pull yourself up your bootstraps? Well, Moicano is the literal example of that, and this particular story speaks to that itself. Okay, so take for example, right? We understand that you got to have self-accountability. That's a very important aspect of conservatism, right? Because let's just call it what it is. What Moicano has going on is expressing his conservative views. You heard what he said in a post-fight against Drew Dover a couple of fights ago. He said that he wants to join the police. He wants to join the SWAT. He wants to make a difference. And I got to tell you, I have nothing against people who love their country or love the nation that they come from or love to protect their adapted nation, which is the case here with Moicano. I have no problem with that. The thing that I have the problem the most is that you turned down $200,000 of a settlement that you earned with your own money based on the fact that you just happen to have been fighting at a particular era where you are affected in terms of getting a settlement. I know a little something about this, and I think many people as well, that let's say if their companies have done them wrong in terms of hours, or let's say if they were supposed to get overtime and it wasn't counted on the sheet, or perhaps maybe they had some situation going on with, let's say, their lunch break, right? That's a big thing when it comes to labor laws in the United States and in particular in California, right? So I could tell you from my experience, I've had gotten checks like that from different jobs and just for different various reasons. And this just happens to be one of them. This just happens to be business as usual in the world of labor laws and settlements in civil lawsuits. Okay, but why is it that Moicano decided to take this route?
I'm a professional athlete and I've been one for most of my life, so I've always seen things through a sports lens. That makes Donald Trump our head coach. And before the global pandemic, we were winning Super Bowls. And when you're winning Super Bowls, you don't fire the coach. Doesn't matter if you don't like the plays he runs, the players he puts on the field, or what he says on Twitter. You sure as hell don't replace him for another coach that's been in the business for 47 years at every level and never won a fucking game.
Now, the reason why I needed to show you that is show you two things, right? This is literally the exact mindset that Moicano has going on now. I'm sure Jorge Masvidal is gladly willing to take the $200,000 settlement. On top of that, even Donald Cerrone, who, by the way, fought for $200,000 against Conor McGregor in a main event, is gladly taking it. And he's been a company man and has done anything and everything that the UFC has asked of him. So why is it that Moicano doesn't want to do that? Well, look at what Jorge Masvidal said in that clip that I just showed you. What did he say? You don't fire the coach just because you don't like something or this, that, and the other. He's talking about loyalty. And what Moicano is doing and expressing when he is not accepting the UFC settlement, $200,000, mind you, in a world where it is very difficult for people to have $200,000, let alone have something like that in their bank. Now, look, I think there is a little bit of a false confidence that Moicano has going on. He did have the Islam Makhachev fight. The UFC did pay him handsomely because he did them a favor, this, that, and the other. But understand that this is an extremely ruthless business and that, unfortunately, nobody really cares about you in this. So you really have to go squeeze them for as much as you can. That's what everybody in boxing is doing with Turkey El-Sheikh paying everybody out and things of that nature. Whereas the UFC, well, they are stuck in this particular contract and they're sort of okay with it because of a certain ethos that they abide by and that they were taught. This is just one of those things. It's identity politics by the end of the day, because in Moicano's mind, he does not want to create a sense of handouts or just a sense of communistic ideals where I'm just going to receive money just for not working for it. The unfortunate thing here is that Moicano doesn't realize his worth, and he doesn't realize that this is owed to him in a way where he deserves it. And for whatever reason, he doesn't believe that he deserves it. But it is unfortunate. It is his choice. And by the end of the day, you can't really do anything about it. And, well, what else can we really elaborate on this particular topic? And just when we thought we were lost of any headlining news in the cycles out there going on right now, Hulk Hogan has unfortunately passed away, along with one of the Bill Cosby actors. I believe his name was Malcolm Jamal. And yeah, all in the same time, right? Very tragic, to be quite honest with you, which is why you got to think to yourself, you know what, man, listen, you got to go out there and you got to get yours and you got to get what is owed to you. And Moicano needs to really have a good, vast understanding of that. So, but in the end, it is his life. It is your life. And it's how you choose to live it and how you choose to build memories around it. But on any regard, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one, inshallah. MMA needs, if you want to find predictions, news, and everything that deals with MMA, shout outs to Kyrie, Abu El-Kheer MMA, Sacramento, California, represent.
That's right, Kyrie. I appreciate you, my nigga. You came in here, you was talking that shit. That's right, bro. Much love, Flo. I appreciate you for always stepping in, bro. Be safe out there. Man, my nigga Kyrie, my man Kyrie came through. He started talking that shit. Hey, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That nigga whoop your fucking ass. You will think that nigga's all squared up and all that type of shit. Nigga come through and beat your fucking ass. Like, man, fuck you up. You will never see it coming. So for those of y'all